y'all, Rowan here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you have been here before. Today I thought that we might do what I like to call a trip to the museum. I love to go to the art museum, but I haven't been in too long. And so I thought today we could just look at some pretty cards together. The Taro is Color is one of my favorite decks to do this with. It's just so stunning to simply look at. And I thought today we could pair up the Taro is Color with some other decks that I think it works well with and just enjoy the pretty images. We don't have to derive meaning from the cards. If something comes across, it comes across. But I'm not here to necessarily be reading the cards so much as I am to be looking at them. Every now and again, I just like to look at the prettiness. So let's give this a quick little shuffle. And this might prove to be very difficult because this deck is huge, as you can see. But I would like to start by pairing it up using the Taro is Color as an oracle deck and pairing it with the Fountain Tarot and using that as the supportive messages on the side. So the backs, ooh, already I'm liking these together. Oh, yes. Oh, that's pretty. Yes, ma'am. Let's go ahead and get some incense going. And if you hear any oddball sounds, those are my cats. I did not lock them out of the room. I'm the only one home, so I wanted to make sure that if they needed me, they could get my attention. So you might hear my cats in the background being mischievous. Please forgive them. Mischief is their favorite pastime. So we have the Devil, the Eight of Discs, and the Queen of Cups. I'm liking the way the blues stretch across, or rather, I should say indigo. This is meant to be indigo if you read the guide that comes with it. But we've got these beautiful deep indigos stretching across all of these decks here, bringing this idea of deep emotion in. And we get the Devil and the Queen of Cups on either side, which to me seems to support this message, or not this message as in tarot reading, but this message through the art, this message of the things that lie under the surface and that can bubble up at any time. Loving that. Oh, we got some upside down ones. Ooh, now we have the Eight of Cups. So let's take a look at these two side by side. The Eight of Cups and the Eight of Discs are very similar cards. And that's one of my frustrations with this deck, quite frankly, is that there's just so much blue in it. I wish there were more green in Taro is Color. But I do like the way the eights here, because when I originally saw the Eight of Discs on top, I read it as Eight of Cups and then had to go back and reread it. So it's funny to me that the Eight of Cups was right underneath. And then we get the Eight of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Ace of Coins. So to me, there's like this blue, of course, undercurrent, but then we've got the spots of green. And we have this circular image that stays across all three cards and draws your attention to the center of each of them in turn. And I do enjoy the way that mirrors across all of them. Ooh, Knight of Wands, Two of Wands, and the Magician. Now we're finally moving away from solid blue. We get some splashes of red. We've got yellow over here, blue over here, with the blue and the yellow and gray, giving us this sort of mirror image effect almost. And then with the way the wand is here and the wand is here represented. And then we've got this harsh line right here in the paint splotch. Very visually interesting together. Ooh, this is like a shock of energy in between some very purposefully subdued images. So this to me is giving this feeling of, like just going off of the artwork here, this feeling of inner fire that's being suppressed for the appearance of looking cool around the people that perhaps you need to impress or need to show yourself as being capable in front of. But inside you've got this, this intense color that's just ready to come to the forefront. And you especially see that here in the Queen of Swords, where the colors are showing through the prism, but they're not quite revealed just yet. The High Priestess energy is still keeping that under wraps. Very nice. Oh, we get the chicken leg. I love the chicken leg card. All right, so we've got the King of Cups, the Seven of Coins, and the Six of Wands. And the King of Cups here is looking across at the Seven of Coins, at Gordon Ramsay over here, and he's getting ready to cook us a nice little meal with our chicken leg and our Brussels sprouts. I love that. I wonder if the King of Cups is the person he's serving in this case. He's got his little coffee cup there. Maybe he's sitting at his table waiting for Gordon Ramsay to serve him his food. Oh, what a funny little scene. Five of Cups, Ten of Swords, and Ace of Swords. That's not a very good draw. That just gives conflict and loss and you being the purveyor of your own failures. That's a bummer. And then all of this vertical imagery that we get here across all of the cards really gives this idea that you're trying to stand upright in the face of a lot of hardship. And this deep indigo purpley kind of color here in the center mirrors the blackness of the sky behind our figure in the Five of Cups, mirrors the depth of the prisms in the Ace of Swords. Oh, we get the Seven of Cups, the Empress, and Death. For a while now, I've thought that this Empress card kind of gives me whale vibes, like it looks a little bit like a whale. So this idea of like this, we get this image here of her in the center and this image here of the horseman in the center, and then this whale image. It's once again, we're getting this, our eyes pulled right to the center of the card. We're getting some color play off of each other here because none of these colors mirror. So it's very isolating here. So I'm getting this feeling of all of these different figures being separated from what is around them. And with this Death card here, it very much so gives this idea that there's an isolation happening. All right, let's take a look at another combination. Alrighty, so next I thought we could use the Kim Cran's Unknown Archetypes, Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, along with our tarot as color as the tarot this time. And we get the King of Cups, the Thread, and the Hierophant. The thread here that holds them together is this red line that's going through all of them. I see that mirrored here in the center of all of these images. That's really interesting. And then, of course, it's against this backsplash of darkness and depth, making sure that the red really pops to our attention. If I saw all of these together on a wall, I would accept them as a single cohesive experience. Oh, nice. We get the Hermit, Temperance, and the Cave. This to me is making me think of hiding out, of safety, of seclusion. This is making me think of keeping the world at bay, making sure that you're not overly influenced by what happens around you, making sure that you stay in tune with yourself. these very messy, very busy, visually almost overwhelming images all together. Each of them, the fine detail in the King of Discs is brought more to the forefront by the fine detail in the Underworld card in the Prince of Cups. So all of the tiny little drawings here on the worms and the blades of grass and the bits of refuse and such. All of the details in this card really bring out the details and the texture of the paint in these two cards. So that's really interesting. And then when you have the tarot as color flagging on either side of something else, the images are bound to be very center drawn because the tarot as color is a lot of poured paints. But when you have them mirrored around a circular deck like this, like it just really hones you into this central message that this one is bringing. So like even though we've got the King of Discs and the Prince of Cups, the thing that I'm really feeling here is something that needs to be addressed in the shadow realm. Like that's what I'm getting from these cards on an actual reading level. So that's a really interesting take. I haven't used these two decks before, so it's cool to see that comes of it. Ooh, I like this. Two of Discs, Ace of Swords, and the Vow. Here, the Two of Discs really stands out compared to the soft yellows that these two are bringing. And so the primary blue and red that's here really makes it feel like something is out of place. And that really matches in with the messaging of the Two of Discs being about trying to juggle different things, trying to make different opportunities work at once, serving multiple masters. Like that's the energy that I get here. And when you pair that with the Ace of Swords and the Vow, like that just makes it seem like whatever promise you've made is already proving really difficult to keep. So that's cool. And once again, we get this framing effect where the colors here frame the central paint splotches, and then we get the circle, but on top of that, we have shapes within the circle that further draw our eye inwards to the stone that's being represented here. So this one very much so feels like there's something inside that's weighing on you, like this stone sitting in the pit of your stomach, weighing you down. Like that's what this is giving me. And then we get the Seven of Cups and the Three of Swords. So there's definitely something here that is keeping you from moving forward, keeping you from taking the options that are available to you and making use of them. There are some perhaps emotional, some anxiety-related, fear-related things that are keeping this stone weighing you down. And that's not how I would normally read this card at all. So that's just with this visual pairing here. I love this Ten of Wands card. It's not giving Ten of Wands, but it's beautiful nonetheless. So these are all different from one another. These stand out from one another quite a bit. Let's see. Okay. So seeing them all together, it's just this, I feel overwhelmed in primary colors, and I'm loving that. I really enjoy seeing each of these with their own separate color palette in front of me. They all still somehow feel cohesive despite that. And perhaps, again, that's that circular, again, drawing. Like, these decks just are going to work together because of the paint pour and shape mirroring each other across the cards. So those look quite good together. I enjoy that. Alrighty, let's do a different pairing this time. Ooh, hold on, surprise, surprise. Okay, so next I thought we would pair it with the Tantric Dakini Oracle. And this is a combination that I have used before for the sake of going to the museum. I think I've even done a couple of readings with this combination. So we get the Princess of Cups, Maya, how she spins, and the Nine of Wands. I really enjoy these two together, this spread. I really enjoy this particular spread. I'm liking the way the movement is all diagonal across all of the cards. I'm liking the way the eye is drawn in that way. So it almost makes me start up here when I look at them rather than starting in the center, so that's fun. Oh, I love this Strength card. King of Wands, abundance and strength. So this to me gives this idea of having abundance and passion rather than abundance and material wealth, especially because of all of this red that's around us over here. And then we've got the deep greens and the deep purple. So that to me just, again, really speaks to this idea of having a lot of passion in your life. The Fool, the King of Swords, and just passing through. We get the blues and greens across all of them with this brightness right in the center of each card to once again pull our attention to that center point to make sure that we're paying the respect to the focus as we should be. This one definitely has some... So the way in which the speckles here adorn the Fool card and also adorn the King of Swords, like visually they do look like they were made in different ways, but they still are reminiscent of each other. And so it very much so is giving, like with this wing right here in the center, this is making me think of plots of land that are used for farming with circular irrigation systems. Like that's what it's making me think of. Judgment, Wave of Bliss, and Six of Discs. So we've got a lot of different competing images here. To me, this Wave of Bliss feels like a uniting factor between the Judgment card and the Six of Discs, as if the ocean here is bringing both of these cards together. An interesting choice in the Tantric Dakini to use this particular piece of artwork in a card that's meant to evoke feelings of positivity. Interesting choice. Don't know if I would have done it myself. It feels a little bit like this is a big wave. I'm going to use the big wave to make... Anyway, let me not sit here and bash on the creator of the Tantric Dakini. I like how the Princess of Wands here mirrors the sharp point of the Mount Meru, center of the universe. I probably pronounced that wrong. And that, even though this one is a very curvaceous kind of blob, because these two do have such strong points, it really draws my attention to the subtle way in which this comes to a point here. This blue and indigo here in the center come to a point. That's interesting. Makes this shape almost feel more angular by virtue of being near these other angular shapes. Oh, the Nine of Cups, Horseplay, and the Magician. So the way this one is done with color, like the way the colors here are all sort of similar, it really gives me this idea that the yellow in the center is meant to evoke this internal joy, this internal happiness, this inner child perhaps, and that mirrors the idea of horseplay that we have here in this middle card. I like that. Very pretty. I like those pops of yellow because we even get them up here in the Pegasus wings. Not that that's a true yellow, but visually it comes across as yellow. Excellent. The next, let me see. I do want to go ahead and move on to another pairing. I've got one more deck that I want to take a look at today, so I'll be right back. Alrighty, the next deck I want to take a look at here is the Modern Nirvana Oracle. And this is a very different pairing than what we've seen so far. For starters, the borders don't match, and I know that drives me insane, so I'm sure that drives at least one or two of y'all insane as well. But we're going to persevere, as that is what we do, and we're going to just enjoy these images together. So here we've got some very intense color mirror, or not mirroring, but surrounding our figure here. She's got, even in her own painting, her own image, she has some very conflicting colors going on. The red and pink of her surroundings with the blue of her outfit and the turquoise of the makeshift timepiece that is standing behind her. And then this little pop of yellow here mirroring this pop of yellow on the Ten of Discs, and the red here in the Tower card mirroring the background red in the central Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Mirroring the red in the central image. I'm just going to skip the sigil cards in this deck. Although, quite frankly, it does look pretty good. Like, that does look pretty good. Like, just visually, I don't hate it. It's just that I don't know that I love these two decks together. I've paired them here because I like to look at these images. I don't necessarily know that they work well together. I just happen to enjoy looking at the images in the Modern Nirvana Oracle as if I were going to the museum, which is the same way that I am about the Taro is Color. I just sort of like to look at the images that we have presented here and bask in that. I don't really... I don't know that I really use the Modern Nirvana as an oracle enough. The sigil cards kind of frustrate me in it, so I don't know. I think I should do a deck study, go through, read the whole guidebook, front to back, and just bask in it for a while. I am loving this spread right here. Queen of Discs, Awareness, and the Chariot. Like, this gentleman in the center contemplating the world that exists around him. It very much so feels like he is aware of the Queen of Discs in front of him, but like perhaps the Chariot behind him is not getting nearly as much attention from him, as we see these red colors being ignored in this central card, but the blues are represented a little bit more. So that very much so feels like he's not showing full awareness at this time. But yeah, I just really enjoy flipping through my decks and appreciating the art of them. I obviously, like, I read my cards. I read cards for other people on occasion, but mostly I enjoy having little collections of art that I can look at. Like, that's what got me into tarot before, like collecting decks. I could have just had one tarot deck and read with that one deck, but the reason I started collecting was because I enjoy sitting here and looking at the artwork that all of these images have. I like the prism with these, even though that's not the card. I liked that one. Ecstasy works well too visually, like the colors work well. So that is the Tarot as Color with the Modern Nirvana Oracle. Not my favorite of all the pairings that we've tried today, but it is some artwork that I just love to look at. So thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. I don't know what we really accomplished here today other than looking at pretty art, but sometimes that is the point in and of itself. So thank you for hanging out. I'm just going to get this cleaned up. Give me just a second. And with that, I'll say goodbye. If you would like to see more pairings with the Tarot as Color, if you would like to see me actually try to do some readings with it, I really do want to make some readings for the collective here on this channel. I'll probably do them pick-a-pile style, and I know I've said before that that's something that I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do, so I can't make any promises, but that's something that I really want to do on this channel. So I'm going to probably give that another shot, try to record a pick-a-pile reading here in the next week or so. So hopefully you'll be seeing that, but if not, I will be making, if I don't do a pick-a-pile reading, my next video is probably going to be about tarot decks that I have let out of my collection, so decks that I've brought in, realized weren't for me, and then let go of. So either you're going to get a pick-a-pile reading, or you're going to get that. You'll eventually get me talking about the decks I've let go of, no matter what. So keep your eye out for those. Go ahead and subscribe if you have not subscribed. Comment down below which of these pairings was your favorite, or if you've got some in your own personal collection that you like to go to the museum with, let me know. I'm here to collect more museum exhibitions. So please like, comment, subscribe, and thank you so much for hanging out. I look forward to seeing you next time. I love you. Mwah! Bye.